Hi, and welcome back to the afternoon of Close-Up Day 2. I am Stacey Shoemaker-Rowan, your host for the day. Hopefully you've enjoyed the morning and the NYC by Design Awards. I'm super excited for who's in the studio today. We are back with Juniper. They were here in October and they're back to continue their story. So to set the stage, I'm going to read a few facts about them. They are dedicated to producing thoughtfully designed and meticulously engineered lighting solutions through a philosophy of reduction, user experience, and technological advancement. Juniper started right here in Brooklyn's Industry City in 2010 and has grown to be a leader in American architectural lighting design and manufacturing. And all Juniper products are produced in their state-of-the-art manufacturing center and their new company headquarters in Connecticut, which is beautiful. Recently completed renovation of a 100-year-old mill building on the Quinnipiac River, which
it's a hard one.
It's a hard one.
Quinnipiac.
But I went to camp near there, so I should know it. But anyway, so in the studio, I'd love to welcome Ana Granados, who is Sales Director for Juniper, Mel Sans, who is VP Relationship Management, and Tom Simon, who is Senior Product Specialist. Welcome to Close-Up. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, we're so excited you're here. Okay, so let's go over roles and responsibilities. Who does what? A little background on you. So Ana, why don't you start?
Yes. Well, first of all, thank you for having us here. I joined Juniper earlier this year, January 2021, as their new sales director. A little bit about me: I've been in this industry and in New York for now 15 years. I moved from Spain in 2006, and I was working for the Trade Commission of Spain, helping different manufacturers in our industry expand their businesses. And that's how I got involved in the interior design and architectural world. And then since, I've worked for different manufacturers in furniture, lighting, and then most recently surfacing. And now I'm back in the lighting world with a new challenge. Very excited to have been given this amazing opportunity.
Amazing. Mel, tell us about you and what you do for Juniper.
My name is Mel. I'm a Scorpio.
Do you like long walks on the beach?
Love long walks on the beach. So I too have been in this industry for about 15 years. I would say probably the last 5.5 or so. I've been an ambassador for the Juniper brand. My title, I think, really means that Ana tells me what to do, and she tells me, sit in front of this person and talk about Juniper, and that's what I do. So it's been really such a pleasure to see Juniper, as 2021 is our 10-year anniversary, kind of go from our humble roots here in Industry City, which is so cool to be back in this building, to having our factory in Connecticut. It's been such a cool narrative to see the whole way through. So I'm happy.
Love it. Well, thanks for being here. And Tom, a little bit about you.
So I actually come from the arts. I have a master's in sculpture, but kind of wound my way through New York, art, architecture, design, construction, and found myself in lighting about 10 years ago. And when I started at Juniper, we were still here. And I was deeply involved with production and operations as well as product development. So I know literally like the nuts and bolts of our fixtures. But now I have a kind of hybrid role that puts me between technical sales, so I work with the two of them, and then training, so I work with our clients on our products to understand our product line. And then also I work with our product development team on product strategy and market research.
Oh, you wear many hats. So.
It's fun.
We're glad to have you. All right. Well, amazing. So talking about your evolution, you just opened a beautiful showroom in New York, in Soho. And I love that it was created as a hospitality space where clients can really enjoy and experience Juniper in a different light, which coming from the hospitality side of things, just absolutely love. And design-wise, it was done in-house with your team as well as with Aesthetique, which is a wonderful design firm also in Brooklyn and Moscow. So let's take a quick look at the showroom and then we'll talk about it. So pretty, and it was so nice. I get to see it in person. So, and it just won an NYC by Design Award, right?
Yes.
So for small showroom. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Well deserved.
Yay.
Okay, so let's talk about it. So there's, it's a really relaxed setting, hospitality setting for clients to really enjoy Juniper. Can you talk about why that came to be, what you wanted to provide?
Yes, definitely. So hospitality is at the heart of everything that Juniper does, right? It's our industry. We enjoy that so much. And the idea behind it was to have a showroom where the light fixtures are integrated in the space.
Right.
Not like a traditional lighting showroom, more part of the setting. So it can serve also as an inspiration to our clients. So it's the space that is designed to have our lighting designer friends, architects and designers come and unwind after a day of work, or just stop for a coffee or a tea in the middle of the day,
Right.
and get some inspiration.
Right, because you have a bar area, you have a little lounge, you have that beautiful table. It's just, it's a really nice flow of a space.
The bar is the heart of the showroom. It's basically, we love that bar.
Yeah. And what kind of products are you showing? Are you hoping to rotate them, or talk to us about that?
Well, right now we have most of our collections on display, and it's nice because, as I was saying, it's all integrated. So we display collections like the thin system in different settings.
Okay.
As a vanity light or as a picture light. But then we also have some more dramatic custom fixtures that show the possibilities of the products, right? And we do that with every collection. Same for the Metropolis. We have it as a pendant or a wall sconce or just like a custom fixture that was done for the showroom.
Right.
And same for the flutes. So all our lines are displayed in the showroom. Of course, now the showroom will have a new space, or we're expanding the showroom.
Yeah.
And we're gonna open up another floor to showcase new collections coming up, and in a slightly different way, more like a work area. We call it more the studio or workshop or a lab for our clients to come work. So we're gonna offer everything. You can come work with us, and then we can just go downstairs, have a drink, and relax, and talk about design.
Yeah, that's the fun part.
Yeah. And was it challenging to open during the pandemic?
Yes. That's an easy answer, yes.
Got that.
I think that the biggest challenge was to kind of just to mobilize people in order, all the different trades in order to get the work done.
Right.
But that really, and I have to really give a shout out to Rodolfo, who's our creative director, Agrea, who's just been phenomenal. And he really pulled together the showroom, the space, all of the little details, all of those trades. It's not easy coordinating during COVID. No. And he did it with grace, and so we're very happy and proud of that, and excited that it got done. You have to have different protocols, and as people come through this space, and we've really tried to, work around and work with those challenges. It's kind of at the ethos of what we do is, coming up with solutions to challenges. So COVID was one of them, but we, I think, managed to, well, we're open, so I guess we managed to figure that out. So we're very excited about that. So yeah.
And now you can bring people together and show everything. Yeah, which is amazing. And the space is so beautiful. A lot of custom work went into it. Talk about, the design. How did you want the design to reflect or complement your fixtures?
Well, we work with Esthétique, as you know, and when we were having discussions with them, we really wanted the whole design to feel very cohesive and just kind of bring the entire space more to a feeling of being comfortable, a feeling of being welcomed. And I think that sometimes as we work as a architectural lighting manufacturer, maybe those things are missed. Welcoming is probably not the word you would describe an architectural lighting manufacturer. So all of the pieces in the showroom were really thoughtfully designed in a way to make somebody feel like they were home. Maybe not too much home, like don't put your feet up on the sofa, you know what I mean? But like a little bit of home.
Don't take your shoes off.
Don't take your shoes off, unless it's 2 in the morning and then shoes are off, baby. But I think, we really wanted to have that kind of space where, all of the elements and all of these things got really brought together, mostly to feel welcoming, that the finishes felt warm, that our fixtures looked their absolute best in the space. So that's kind of how the materials and all that played a factor in the showroom.
Oh, great. Well, everyone should come see it. It's beautiful. Thank you. Make an appointment. So, okay, so let's move on to talk a little bit about about Juniper. And I mean, I know your core pillars are innovation, purpose, and aesthetic. And now that you're hitting the 10-year mark, we're going to get a chance to preview your next collection and then talk a little bit about how you've evolved and where you're headed. So let's see the latest collection, please. So cool. So it's called the Universe system. So tell us, how would you describe this? How would you describe this new product and system?
I think, as you can see, that Universe, the first pillar of the principles that Juniper really kind of lives by, is innovation. And it's really in the DNA of who we are. I would describe the Universe system not only as an advancement of what is a traditional track lighting, but I would describe it as ultimately it's a power system. Okay. That can be installed in a space as track, very simple, but also ultimately be able to be much more, be an architectural centerpiece of the space, also be able to connect to other fixtures in our collection, which is also was something that we're very excited and very proud of. Yeah, so I would say that the Universe is definitely an expansion in what we feel is the next step and evolution of a basic track lighting system, and this system is anything but that.
Yeah, well, it definitely speaks to your ability to problem solve, right? I mean, this must have come from things that you couldn't do before. So talk a little bit about that.
I think we've had many conversations, the three of us sitting here with our clients directly, with architects, designers, lighting designers, who are not only our clients, our friends, people who give us very honest feedback. And at Juniper, we really take those challenges, I don't want to say problems, but challenges, and we really try to solve those challenges. And this system is definitely is what we created out of those challenges. And we were talking to our colleagues and clients, what is it about this particular, secondary lighting that is, maybe not the easiest to specify, or it's not the easiest to have in your space, or it's like an afterthought. And we wanted to bring this particular fixture, not as an afterthought, but definitely more into the forefront. So listening to our clients about their challenges that they're having in the space, whether it be with installation, color, getting power to their track lighting, all of these things we were thinking about. And so with our clients in mind is why the system is now here.
Yes, and definitely, as you were saying, everything starts with a problem, but not in a bad way, right? And Juniper has had that in mind for every collection they've designed. So what's the problem and how are we solving it, right? And then you start with an idea that develops into a complete system. And Universe respond to that idea as well, right? This is some lighting needs that we need in a different way that we didn't thought about before. And then that idea develops into a whole system, which is today what we have as Universe.
Yeah. And is the name because it's this complete system?
Yes, yes, the true story is that it is, because that's the reason, right? Because it's going to be, it's intended not only to work with the Universe system itself, but also with other Juniper collections.
Amazing.
And at some point with some accessories too.
So talk about some of the key features and specifically the advancement too with the magnetic capabilities, et cetera.
That's a Tom question.
Yeah, sorry, Tom. Looking at you. Product specialist.
That's the product specialist.
Well, it really starts with the ribbon. To put it simply, basically what we did is we took what is traditionally a channel and we turned it inside out. And so that means that the conductor is on the outside, and then you have a flat surface to look at on the track. One piece of feedback we've gotten a lot from lighting designers, who are very experienced in track lighting, is that for them it's always a graphic element in the space. And like it or not, right? Because it's these lines that run around the ceiling, and so we feel like this really embraces that and makes it something you can play with rather than just sort of like struggle with. And then also because it's surface mounted, but very low profile, you get a lot of the aesthetic benefits of a recessed track system, which are very beautiful, but very difficult to install. Right. So this, because it clips onto the surface, comes at a much later stage of construction. It requires less coordination. It means you can do it in a retrofit situation. You don't have to break the ceiling open. It really does change how track is used. And then, of course, the custom color options, because we're finishing this in our factory, we're able to coordinate with the client with their needs for colors, which is also not common in track. We also have some sort of like internal advancements. We have voltage drop correction, so you can run up to 150 feet on a single power supply. A lot of other systems limit you to 15 or 20 feet. And then we have really incredible optics, like of course it's a lighting system, so not just a lighting system, but we wanted to make sure that our lighting designers are satisfied with what the product provides. And then, as Mel was saying, it's power distribution. Low voltage power is becoming increasingly common for like all kinds of devices, not just lighting. And so we really see this as a platform for like a whole ecosystem of different devices.
Right.
Which are in our pipeline.
Yeah. which are coming.
Yeah. We had a lighting designer recently comparing it to wire mold, right?
Yes.
Like what you use to run the cords and all so they don't, you don't see them. But that's basically what this system will do, but in a very nice way. Like a beautiful.
Much more elevated. Yeah.
Elevated, flat, smooth surface, beautiful.
Yeah, a lot of spaces now, including the one we're in, are exposed concrete. You don't have a lot of options there. You can't hide wires, you can't run wires. So, this allows you to really like work with that instead of against it.
Love it. All right, so talk to innovation is number one pillar. Number two pillar is purpose. So let's see how Universe plays into the second pillar of Juniper, which is purpose. So cool. So it's really, really cool. So anyway, I love it. So what were some of the major goals of this launch, of this part?
So this brings us back to our client, right? We're client-centric.
Right.
And we want to respond to the needs of our clients and what the market is doing, right? And we were actually looking at where track lighting was used. And honestly, for me now that I'm back in lighting, I'm paying attention to where track light is everywhere.
Yep.
Everywhere, right? So this is going to be a system that it's going to offer flexibility in every project. So we're talking about a residential project. You would see this in your own house,
yep.
right? But also commercial. From anything from a museum or an art gallery or a retail store or any educational projects. So again, you're providing solutions to lighting needs with a very high focus on design.
Right. And what were the challenges about creating such amazing flexibility? Or you talk about, I guess, the flexibility of this line and again, don't want to say problems, but creating it. Talk about some of the innovation behind that.
Well, I think that some of the challenges that we had were initially, how do we have this particular system be beautiful and functional? Okay, those are like the two things we're always kind of having to think about together, because it's a very much a Juniper principle that those two things, it's very important that we have those two things always running in parallel together. I think the big challenge was, how do we get the ribbon to work off of a dual circuit system? I would probably say that's the biggest challenge. We have some really incredible engineers that we work with and who were able to figure out, this proprietary system of these, clips, the dual channel, and really how to make that work properly in a way that the user felt that it was easy,
right.
but that the internal guts and everything were, quite advanced. I think that would probably has been the biggest challenge. What do you think, Tom?
Well, I think, one thing that we've learned over and over again is that, as Mel's saying, the market needs both, right? And also, if you've worked in architectural lighting for any length of time, you realize it's complicated. There's a lot of cooks in the kitchen, and so, or stakeholders, or whatever you want to call them, people who send emails.
Have opinions.
But so you have lighting designers, you have clients. Maybe a commercial client who wants a beautiful space. You have lighting designers who are trying to solve like a very technical issue. And then you have the electricians and the interior designers, and then you have electricians who are trying to install this. And actually with this system, we had electricians in our factory installing prototypes to get their feedback, because we know the job's not done until it's actually working.
Right.
You can't just ship it out. It has to really work. It has to be intuitive for everybody. And now this system's going to actually get touched and used over and over and over again throughout its lifetime. So we test all that as well. It's hard, but we're very proud of it.
And also, I know you talked a little bit about the lighting output, and then there's inline power connectors. Can you just talk us through that a little bit and how those work? Yeah,
so the 150 feet is a theoretical limitation for one power supply, but you can of course always add more depending on how many lights you need. So yeah, you can basically do a seamless run of any length as long as you keep adding these inline power supplies. And again, as Mel said, it's 2 circuits, so that actually gives you basically double the power, and you just flip the light around to change the circuit, so you can dim them independently.
Oh, very cool. Love it. All right. So did innovation, purpose, and now we're going to look at the aesthetics that is Universe. Well, as you said, Mel, you married form and function very well. It's beautiful. So talk about how you wanted to make sure that the aesthetics match the innovation.
I think it's my favorite thing. Aesthetics, I really, don't get me wrong, I like the technical part too, Tom. But I think, you know, what really the challenge and what we wanted to really bring with this particular collection is that you don't have to have this kind of track lighting as an afterthought. It doesn't have to just be like oh, I forgot, I need to put this in my space. I forgot about the secondary lighting. We really wanted it to be a standout person in the room. Mm-hmm. So, which leads me to my next point, is that I actually think that, you know, this particular system can be the backup singer. You know, to this space. Doesn't need to be, you know, up front, stage center. You know, it can enhance the space and really can enhance the design intent visually in a very beautiful way that is kind of just blends in with the rest of the space. Because of the ribbon is, you know, quite thin, flat and smooth, you're able to do custom paint, which Tom had mentioned, so we can match any paint that we need to. So a designer could have, you know, a beautiful orange room and have it all orange and everything just kind of blend in together. But also the system can be the diva. Yep. So, you know, up front center, wailing away on the microphone. And I really think that this particular collection can do that with, you know, coordinating different color options. You know, you could have, you know, a room that's got, you know, very distinct color patterns. You could really, because of all the different connectors and, you know, in corners, out corners, 90-degree angles, you could create patterns that are special, that have a little bit more presence in the room, that can really stand out if you wanted. So this particular system, which we're super excited about, has the opportunity to kind of have this dual life within the space. Right.
It almost be an architectural element, detail, right? Like it can create ceiling grids
Yep.
and wall grids and, you know, whatever the designer wants.
Yeah, and I think that's what we had in mind was, of course, our clients. And, you know, instead of, and I keep saying it, but instead of it being the afterthought, the designer is saying, you know what, let's do this really interesting grid, and it's going to be in a neon green, and it's going to be this particular, and then everything else is going to be black, and this is what we're going to do. We're going to create something really visually impactful for the space so that it complements the space. It doesn't take away from it.
Right.
We've been previewing the system with some of our clients, interior designers, architects, and lighting designers, also to get their feedback.
What's the reaction?
We did it kind of like in a secretive way, like, you're not supposed to see this, but we're going to show you anyway.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting to get their feedback, which in most cases was completely different in the ways they wanted to use it.
Oh, really?
Which is great for us because it brings us back to the name, Universe, right? Like if you're talking to an interior designer, they're already placing it in a beautiful residential home to highlight the artwork.
Yep.
Our hospitality friends are always happy to use it in like different settings in the room. So we've been collecting that feedback from them too, right? Like what we were doing with the electricians in our factory, right? We need the feedback of our audience.
Yeah.
and then we incorporate it.
Interesting. So was that part of the R&D process, or more towards the tail end?
I would say it's probably a little bit towards the, no, it's kind of all the way through.
Yeah.
I feel like it was all the way through. It was, Tom knows, because we were like, been talking about this for, a while. But, it was really, we saw that our clients were always coming up against these issues when it came to installing their secondary lighting, always came up to this point. And what we wanted to do is, we took that information and we thought, okay, what is the next evolution of the company? What's the next step for us? And how can we help our clients solve these problems in their space? And then that question always kind of stayed with us throughout the design process, the R&D process, and even until, weeks ago when we're having these discussions again, trying to make sure that we're getting every little detail right and that we're listening to our clients and doing our best to make sure that any of their, okay, not all of their needs, but
some of them,
we're trying here, that we're really trying to take that information and provide them with a solution that we think would work best for their space. So it's definitely the whole way through.
Makes sense. And you said for a long time. How long has this process been, and what has the manufacturing process been like too?
Well,
tell me.
No, just actually to add on what Mel said, I've never been more excited to see what our clients are going to do with a product.
Yeah.
I think it's like that kind of thing where we need them to finish it for us, and they're going to do really amazing things that we haven't thought of. But back to the manufacturing thing, we've been working on this for a while, and the seeds really were sown when we were working on the thin system and developing that. It was already out in the world. People were really into it, and we were busy expanding it. But we started to think, what if we bring this same sort of philosophy to track lighting? And again, it started with the ribbon, this idea of what would a track be that's not a channel, not a C channel. And a lot of this stuff just kind of flowed from there. But of course, there were many, decisions to make. I think, honestly, the biggest thing when you're designing a product like this is the trade-offs. You have, it's not like good versus bad. It's like
right.
A versus B versus C, and who's going to need it to do what. And that's where talking to our clients and all our relationships become very valuable. Those conversations start to guide you through those decisions.
Right. I'm sure there's a lot of testing and playing around and figuring out what works.
I got a photo today of testing out some glossy paint options. I'm not supposed to say it. Rodolfo's looking at me like, what are you doing? But I did. I got the secret in to all the good stuff. But I got, so it's been really great to see different color options, the different finish options. So we get opportunity to play a bit, which is exciting. As a manufacturer, all of our finishing is done internally. We've, have a beautiful location in Connecticut that's got a state-of-the-art machine shop, a painting booth, and all kinds of toys inside. And it is definitely, we have to make sure that we're providing our clients with the best LEDs, that we're providing them with the best optics, we're providing them with, high efficiency fixtures, that we're really maintaining a level of performance that's acceptable for the market and also for our clients. And but you go through. If anybody knows about the manufacturing process and lighting in particular, we go through it a lot, y'all. So it's been good, but all good.
Yeah, I love it. What have you learned from this? What have been the takeaways, especially doing this through a pandemic, through, new showroom, new everything, and working on this amazing collection? What have been some of the takeaways or lessons learned?
Well, I'm probably not the right one to answer this question since I joined recently, but I want to say that one of the things that I admire from Juniper is, I think the word I want to use is nimble, right? It's a company that adapts quickly to changing circumstances, right? And pretty much everybody has had to do that this past year, right? And so, but I've been following closely what Juniper was doing and how they were managing the opening of the showroom, the factory in Connecticut, hiring talent, bringing people, bringing talent to the team, training the people, and all of that throughout, end of 2019 and 2020. So I really admire that company culture, and I think that the learning lesson for all of us is, I think that Juniper is a company that not only has a dream and talks about this is my dream, I think they actually work very hard to get those dreams. I remember perfectly last year when Shant and Mel were here, and we were friends at the time, and
We're still friends, Anna.
Yes, yes, we were not working together though.
Okay, true.
But I remember that you asked Shant, oh, so what's next for Juniper? And he was just talking about improving processes and kind of like focusing on the internal thing. And I think that we are the proof that that's actually happening, right? Like when they put their mind into something, they make it work. And basically that's what we are trying to do now, right? Improve all our processes and work together, growing the team.
Right.
We have a wonderful team that it keeps growing.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, it's amazing to see the evolution, even from October to now, all that you have accomplished. Anything we missed before? We have some questions from the audience. Anything we missed about Universe that we didn't get to?
I think, we've pretty much covered everything, but I want to just kind of reiterate that, we're really, trying to advance what is typically a traditional system, and we're really trying to, move this particular area of secondary lighting in a new light. I know you said that too earlier. I'm saying it now again. But
good pun.
I mean, hello.
It's right there.
But I think. I think it's important to know that the universe is really, it's not only a track system as you see in videos and things, but it really is a power distribution system that we are super excited about showing you guys the evolution of it and how it can not only be track lighting, but also how it connects to our other collections as well and other accessories soon. Right, Tom?
Amazing. Well, we have Charlene Lamb from Wanted Design here. Let's take one quick question from the audience.
Sure. And we've always been very excited at Wanted Design because I think you started right here at Industry City, where we're coming from today for CLOSEUP. And the question from the audience is, your commitment to Made in the USA, have you been seeing kind of increased interest in that?
Yes. We have. Obviously during COVID, it was very challenging to coordinate with outside third-party vendors, us in particular, whether it be with, acrylic manufacturers or other things maybe we would be purchasing overseas. I think that there's definitely more of an interest when it comes to manufacturing locally in the U.S. Because I think it's important to get somebody on the phone. If something goes wrong, which we hope that doesn't happen, if something goes wrong, you be able to call somebody. You know where things are getting done. You know the people who are making these fixtures. You are aware of their manufacturing processes, that they're sustainable, and that you really can understand the components from start to finish, which I think is important to us, and we've definitely seen more questions of, are you made in the U.S.? Where is it shipping from? Where is it shipping from? Mm-hmm. So that's a very important question.
Yeah, if I can just add, basically with the Universe, everything, like we design and manufacture our own circuit boards. Basically everything aside from raw material processing is done in Connecticut. So, and that's not like, really like a moral issue for us. It allows us greater control over quality and flexibility. So we can offer custom finishes, we can offer custom lengths, we can do things that you just simply can't do with that kind of really long, drawn out supply chain. That said, there are always reasons, and there are manufacturers who do certain things better than us, and we like to use them when we can. But we've certainly brought in-house many capabilities over the last 2 or 3 years that we previously did not have.
Amazing. Well, we are out of time. Thank you so much for being here. Where can everyone find Juniper, and when will Universe be ready?
Yes, well, we're ready to roll the product end of the summer.
Okay.
So starting this summer, we're taking orders.
Okay, and you can see it on juniper-design.com. Yes. So check it out and go see the beautiful showroom. Thank you, Anna,
Thank you,
Mel, and Tom for such a wonderful conversation.